The Two Merchants, a story by Buddha. Once upon a time in a distant kingdom, two merchants set out on a journey to sell their goods. One was kind and honest, named Ananda. The other was greedy and cunning, named Sushil. Though they traveled together, their hearts were very different. Ananda and Sushil walk along a dusty road, carrying their goods, pots, jewelry, and fine cloth. Sushil says with a smirk, "Ananda, kindness won't make you rich. In business, you must be clever and take what you can. That's how you gain true wealth." Ananda smiles warmly and says, "I believe in honesty, Sushil. A good heart brings true wealth. It may not always be in gold, but it brings peace of mind and a clean soul." Sushil rolled his eyes and says, "Peace of mind is for fools. Gold is what matters in this world." They continue walking. The next morning, they arrive in a small village nestled among green hills. The streets are busy, with villagers setting up small markets. They split up to sell their goods. Sushil finds a wealthy household with an elegant mansion, while Ananda visits a small, run-down hut where an elderly widow and her granddaughter live. The widow says softly, with a sorrowful gaze, "I have no money, but I wish to buy something nice for my granddaughter. All I have is this old brass plate." She holds up a worn plate, the carvings faded with time. Ananda gently reached for the plate. "Let me see that." He inspects the plate closely and notices a faint shimmer beneath the dust. It is pure gold. He runs his fingers over the intricate patterns, realizing the true value of the plate. Ananda smiles warmly and says, "Dear lady, this is no ordinary plate. It is gold. You should keep it or sell it for a fair price to someone who can help you." Widow got surprised and says in a trembling voice, "Bless you, kind sir. No one has ever been so honest with me. I can hardly believe it." Ananda bows humbly and says, "May it bring you the joy you deserve." Ananda continues on his way, selling his goods fairly to the other villagers, smiling to himself. Later that day, Sushil, looking for an easy profit, arrives in the same village. He's already heard of the widow's plate. His eyes gleam with greed as he arrives at her humble doorstep. Sushil says, "Old woman, do you have anything to trade? I give the best deals. You won't find a better merchant than me." Widow was hesitant, and recalling Ananda's words, she says, "A kind merchant told me this plate is gold. Do you know its value?" Sushil laughed loudly, dismissing her and said, "Gold? Nonsense. This is just a worthless piece of junk. But since I pity you, I'll take it off your hands for just one small coin." The widow looks down at the plate, unsure, but remembers Ananda's honesty. Her hands tremble, but her mind is clear. The widow stands firmly and says, "No, I will wait. I trust that the right person will come along." Sushil scowls, frustrated by her refusal, and storms away. That evening, as the sun sets, Sushil regrets not taking the plate for a low price. He thinks it over, imagining all the money he could have made. Impulsively, he rushes back to the widow's house, hoping she has changed her mind. As he approaches, he sees Ananda handing the widow a small bag of fair payment for the plate. Sushil's eyes widen in horror as he realizes that Ananda has bought the plate for a fair price. Sushil shouts out of breath and rushed forward. "Wait! That plate is mine! I'll pay double! I will give you more!" Ananda says calmly, without raising his voice. "It was never yours, Sushil. You tried to cheat her, and now honesty has won." Sushil's face reddens in frustration, but he cannot argue with the truth. The widow's hands are now holding the money she needed for her granddaughter. Widow says, "Thank you, kind sir. This will change our lives for the better." Sushil storms off in defeat, his greed leaving him empty-handed, as the widow thanks Ananda and walks back to her home. The sun sets as Ananda continues his journey with a peaceful heart, walking through the village. He passes by the same green hills from earlier, the birds singing softly in the trees. Sushil walks alone behind him, defeated and brooding. The Buddha taught that greed blinds the heart, while honesty brings true wealth, not in gold, but in peace. A kind deed returns 100-fold, while deceit leads only to loss. True happiness lies in generosity, for it is the heart's treasure. Greed may promise quick gain, but honesty brings lasting joy. The wise man knows that wealth cannot be measured in coins alone, but in the goodness of one's actions. Did you enjoy this story? Subscribe to SoulWorld for more inspiring stories from the teachings of Buddha.